Welcome to another episode of Copfishing.tips. This weekend, we went to two dams. We went to Fun Fishing here in Alberton and the 50 Rand Dam. This is where we were fishing on Saturday. It was a wonderful day, clear skies, not too much wind. And then this was on Sunday at the 50 Rand Dam in Alberton. We started out fishing straight ahead, and then we moved to the side and the margins, and that's where we actually caught our fish. We caught on Saturday too. Here is our weather report and fishing forecast for the day. As you can see, Sunday the wind was howling. As you saw in the previous image where the dams look white, that's actually from a satellite photo when the wind's blowing. It was something tragic. So this is our session at Fun Fishing. It was really awesome, wonderful day. As you can see, the sun's shining, weather was great, clear skies, not really a bother in the world, and the fish seemed to really be excited as well. They were jumping up all over the place. So we decided to try something different. This week, we're actually going to show you how to make a mealie bomb from scratch in inverted commas. You normally buy the ground bait in a bag, and the instructions on the back of the pack say 2 parts ground feed to 1 part water, which is what we've put in here. It really doesn't matter, like you don't have to measure it in terms of grams or anything like that. Whatever container you're using, just put 2 of those in and 1 water. 2 ground bait, 1 water. When we did that, it looked like it was a bit too wet, but as you can see, it soaks up all the water and it gets quite sticky quite quickly. And then you just give it a good old mix. You may notice the latex gloves and you may wonder why I'm wearing latex gloves. It's mostly because most of the ground bait ingredients do tend to smell for like 3-4 days after you've touched them. Fortunately, mealie bomb has a very mild smell to it, and it goes away within a couple of minutes of you washing your hands. So yeah, the reason why we have latex gloves is because when we were using hemp particles, they obviously ferment a bit in there when they're prepared, and that smell literally lasts for 3-4 days. We did that twice, learned our lesson, and decided to get some latex gloves. And to be honest, it's much better. You don't have to be cleaning your hands every 5 minutes. We've just gotten used to it, so we keep a pair of latex gloves with us. As you can see, the ground bait has become pretty sticky, and well, not sticky, but to the consistency of dough that isn't quite, it doesn't bind as much as normal dough does, but it gets to a very doughy consistency. It's a dry dough. That's probably the best way to explain it. So what you'll do next is you'll get your Ritflay trace out, or whatever ground bait, whatever your ground bait delivery system is. We use Ritflay trace on most of our dams. Some of them are baby shoot traces, and some of them are Ritflay traces. The difference is that the Ritflay trace has 1 hook at the top and 1 hook at the bottom. With a baby shoe trace, it has hooks at the bottom only. It has 2 hooks at the bottom. They're split by a swivel, by a 3-point swivel, which is this one here. We've attached some fake corn on a hair rig, and we've got another hook with a hair rig for whatever bait we decide to use for that day. There you can see our little hair rigs. and that's the ground bait holder. So we're just going to go and put together the rods. Our rods are 2-piece. Never mind, we're going to attach so we attach the red flag trace to the rod. Just makes it easier to put the ground bait on and everything. This is the process we found to be the easiest. So you just rest your rod up against the table or the rod rests and let the red flag trace hang. Be aware of where you let it hang, because if it's in a high traffic zone or if it's near your head, you might get a hook in the eye, so just be careful when you're doing that. Little tip for the ground bait is if you should put in the water slowly, even though it says 2-to-1, 2 parts ground bait, 1 part water. Maybe just add half the water first and then add the rest of the water. To a large degree, it's a pretty standard recipe, if you want to call it that. And we haven't really had any bad results with it. But you should always have a little bit of extra ground bait, and if you don't, so let's say you're going to the dam and you use the whole 2-kilo bag, because you're going to be there from 6 in the morning till 6 at night, what you may want to take with you is just take some flour, maybe a cup or 2, and if you find that the ground bait is too loose, all you need to do is just sprinkle some flour. So this is the baiting needle set we got. I really like this. It's a aluminium little baiting set, so you just turn the one end out and it'll give you the baiting needle, and you can just hook on you need to hook on the bait first. As you can see, I'm doing that now. How much bait you put on all depends on the length of your hair rig. So, and how you want it to sit in the water, obviously, and all of that kind of thing. So then you can just put the hair rig into the baiting needle, close the little latch, push over your bait. Obviously, nothing can be simple. It's always got to be a bit of a pain in the butt. So there you go. We've now got our bait on the hair rig, and now we need to put a boilie stop there. I don't like these dumbbell boilie stops. They're not great for braid. They're too wide, and you have to keep trying to get the braid to open up enough to actually get there. I mean, it's a bit of a wiggle, but it's not the end of the world. As you can see, manage it every time. So that's the millimuti that we put on that hair rig. Those are the pre-flavored little corn kernels. We've literally had that jar since the beginning of the year, maybe even since last year. I can't remember when we got it, but it's lasted us forever. It still smells great. Got an amazing shelf life. And then that's the strawberry millies, which we're putting on our other hook. Those are strawberry flavored millies that have been prepared. You can buy them at pretty much every tackle shop. You can probably even get them, actually no, you can get them from the tackle shop at the dam as well. They're a different brand, but don't think it really makes a difference. So here we're hooking, we're setting up the bait directly on the hook. I like to do both just to test them out really. Hair rig and straight on the hook. Sometimes the fish prefer straight on the hook, others prefer hair rig. As you can see, you just leave the start of the hook exposed. That way you can, number one, hook it into the mealie bomb, and number two, the hook's exposed, so when the fish takes it, there's a piece of the hook that will actually hook them in the mouth. So as you can see here, we're getting the ground bait. You should leave the ground bait for about 15-20 minutes. That's why it's normally the first thing I do when I arrive. And then while I'm setting up the rods and getting all my bait out and all the rest of it, by the time I'm done with that, the ground bait is normally 100% perfect and we can move along. As you can see, forms a nice ball, it's not breaking apart. Now what I do is I make a ball and then you push the ground bait feeder or holder from the rich fillet trace into the dough, into the ground bait, and then just form it around it again and you're good to go. So we found that the Chop Chop Bowl Dip, which is pineapple flavor, works pretty well on most ends. So what you could do is you could actually get like 2 packets of pineapple jelly, or buy pineapple flavoring from the cake aisle, which we'll probably do a video on it, and add it to plain ground bait, because the ground bait here in South Africa that's like corn based normally comes in either flavor, fluorescein or plain. So you could just buy plain and you could actually mix up 2 different batch. You could mix up 1 batch, split it, and then add the flavor afterwards or in between, or whatever the case may be. I'll actually do a video about that, it's a good idea. Most of the bowl dips sold in South Africa that you can put on these bowls. Well, there you see the one ready. So this one has strawberry. So we've got fair corn there, and mealie muti with Chop Chop Bowl Dip. And the other one had strawberry and banjo, which is banana. So the fish were jumping all over the place while we were setting up. In front of us, behind us, to the left of us, to the right of us, well, behind us, right directly in front of us, to the left, to the right. There's just fish everywhere. It was really a great day for activity. The fish were coming right up to the bank and slurping stuff off the surface. So here we're just casting out our mealie bombs. You'll notice we put the bait on top and just hooked it in. It's something new we've been trying. It's been working for us. It also keeps it out of the way of getting tangled. So there you can see. There it goes. So we're also trying with the drag system on these rods. I mean, they're normal spinning rods with the drag knob in front. So what we've been trying is you take the drag basically all the way loose, so that the line literally just comes off the line when the wind blows. Put the rod down in the rod rest, give it 2 seconds for the ground bait to sink to the bottom of the body of water, and then, you know, I mean, takes like 10 minutes, takes like 2 minutes for it to sink. And then what you do is you reel in the slack line and you keep increasing the drag until the line goes straight. So you start by reeling in the slack line. When it stops and it still isn't straight, increase the drag and keep winding till you get to a point where the drag's tight enough to hold the line in place. So what you do is as soon as you see the line go straight in the water, then you just turn the drag just a little click or 2 further, just so that the drag's a little bit tighter, and then leave that and let it go. Release of the fish, and bring the fish onto the bank. I don't know what happened, but there we've cast the second one out. As you can see, they're going in a V shape from each other. Yeah, so I don't know what happened, and we didn't get any pictures of the fish or of the release of the fish or the fight or anything like that. You swear I haven't used my phone for the past year. Very bizarre. This is a third rod we're putting in. It's basically like a bonus rod for us. I like to put in a rod near the bank, right in the margins, just in case any fish comes up and isn't out in the middle of the lake. Sometimes it catches you the one little fish for the day. Sometimes it catches really big fish as well, which is quite interesting on these dams, that you, at very often in the margins, you'll pick up fish that they might not be 30 kilos, but they're 4 or 5 or 6 kilo fish that are literally coming up to the bank and feeding along the bank. And you've cast out 100 meters and the fish is sitting right by you. 100 meters is an exaggeration. I mean, it's probably like, I don't know, 10 meters, 20 meters. I wonder how far you can actually cast. Guess what? I just got another video idea. Find out how far the carpfishing.tips team can actually cast. So there you go. As you can see, the ground bait with the Tutti Frutti bait, and the Banjo bowl dip, which is banana, and the Giant Fruits bowl dip as well, which is like a Tutti Frutti tropical. And there you go. As you can see, I mean, it's not right on the bank, but it's very close. And that's our Frankenstein rod with the, well, that's actually the rod that landed up in the water in one of our last, or the video before that. And this was the scene just before we left. We just caught a fish before this. This is basically what we were leaving. This was basically our view when we were leaving from the bank side. The fish are popping up all over the place. You can see the little risers if you look very carefully. Yeah, it was actually a really beautiful day, beautiful evening. Not too windy, not too yeah, it was quite hot, but not that hot. There, see that rise there to the right of the screen? It's really unbelievable. What an awesome day. Oh, and then this is our catch from Sunday. We went and we set up our rods on this reed line because the wind was so bad. The lake literally had these tiny little waves beating into the side of the bank the whole time we were there. The wind was howling. We originally cast out in front of us, both rods, and we got no bites. Threw in some ground bait as well, no bites. And then I decided to move closer to the bank on the left hand side, and there were a bunch of reeds, so I cast just to the right of those reeds, and I caught this little 2 kilo, and we had another bite just as we were about to leave. What I want to test is putting the casting the two rods out together near each other. Would that give us a better hookup ratio and chance of finding the fish? In theory, it should. Please follow us on all our social media. We've got an Instagram page, we've got an Instagram account, we've got Facebook account, and obviously YouTube and Twitter. So we're on some of the most popular ones. Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. At the very least, we hope we gave you something to do on a boring day, wherever you are. And as per usual, share with a copy friend, guys. And click like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what you'd like to see. If you liked the video, if you hated the video, if you wish my voice didn't sound the way it does, I don't know.